Man, that is so cool. I love that intro. Hey, Dustin Tibbetts, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. Welcome to the Dough Show, everybody. We do this show every day, hopefully, pending any major problems, where we do things to help you get your dough straight, usually revolving around investing, retirement investing, or the stock market. But if I can help you with your personal finances and I feel like I have something to add, be happy to do that as well. We're Jazz Wealth Managers. We manage our own portfolios. I really want you guys to go to our website and just click portfolios. You'll see the list of the 7 of them there. I think it's really important for you to know that if you join us and you're working with us, what does that mean? What do those portfolios do? And so we're the only advisor that I know of that posts our performance of our funds on our website, so you can participate in those if you like. Well, before we get started today, we do a short video series. For those of you that can't make it to these more live classes that are longer, we do short videos. They're called Fin Tips. And I try to publish 2 to 3 of them a week where we just cover a quick topic. Just real quick, give you one sort of simple answer to something. And I've been looking for one that's sort of controversial because I promised you guys I'd do a controversial video to show you how that one will perform better over time as far as the number of views and all that stuff, and I promised you I'll share that with you. Well, I think I've honed in on the one I'm going to use, and that was today's video that we posted at 10 o'clock today, which is why you don't want to do a 15-year mortgage. Well, I think there's already 50 comments on that video for the day, which is like a record for us, by the way. I mean, we're like nobodies over here. And I just want to elaborate on that real quick. First of all, right, you don't want to do a 15-year mortgage. That doesn't make any sense at all. Think of the worst case scenario, right? If you want to pay your house off in 15 years, that's admirable. I love it. I think you should do it. However, I think you should tell the bank you want a 30-year mortgage and then just pay it off in 15 or 14 years anyways. The reason why is if things get really tough, think about it. Those of you that lived through 2008, 9, and 10, some of you didn't go through that financially, but those of you that did, if you had a 15-year mortgage and you lost your job or your wife lost her job or spouse and you got sick or something and you blew through your emergency savings, all your emergency funds if you had enough emergency funds, then you were stuck making that 15-year loan. And you go, well, that's fine. They could just sell the house or refinance. No, you couldn't. You were not able to refinance or sell your house during that time, period. You were just stuck. And if you couldn't pay for your house, out you go. So plan for the worst case scenario. That's why I say do a 30-year mortgage, pay on it as if you're 15 years. You're disciplined enough. You guys will do it. Set it up where it's automated and you make that extra payment, of course. So I know that's a topic that is going to be highly debated on there, and that's fine. There's no like right answer generally. Specifically for you, there is a right answer. And one of the things I want to talk about today is if you're getting a late start to investing, what's the right answer for you? I take so many calls. I get so many things from people that say, I'm 42, I'm 45, I'm 44, and I'm just getting started investing. Holy cow, Dustin, what do I do? And so I want to give you some tips today and kind of explain some more details as we do. We usually give you numbers and things instead of just general tips and tricks. So I want to start with some things that you can do. So number one, we're going to use green today. The stock market's green today, at least for the moment. Here's what I want you to do. If you're getting a late start, let's say you're 45 years old, okay? The first thing you want to do is you want to start with a chunk. Now, this is different. All the younger investors that we're talking to on some of these videos, we're telling you just be consistent. Start with something and just be consistent. If you are in your 40s or older, right, and you're just getting started, you're going to want to start with a chunk, right? Meaning you're going to want to start with a bigger contribution, right? Then be consistent. Then drip, we'll call it. Ooh, that's a bad term because that means something else. Then go steady, right? So let's do some numbers on that one. What I did is I said, all right, if you're 45 years old, right, and you're just getting started, what would happen if you maxed out your Roth IRA or IRA and then started to inch into it, go steady with those weekly deposits or whatever? So we're going to say, what if you did the max this year and then inched into it or did weekly deposits, what would happen versus just inching in? Oops. Okay, so can I just take a second? I'm sorry, guys. This is just not the right term. So do the max and then go weekly from there when you're able to start contributing more. Or what happens if you just did weekly deposits to get to the max amount in your Roth IRA? What would be the difference here, okay? So if you're 45 years old, you make it to retirement age of 67 in this example, and in example number one, you maxed it out and then you started doing weekly from there. So you gave it a big boost to get things going, and then when you were able to, you started doing weekly. You're looking at $440,000 in this example. That's not really enough for you, but this just, to give you an example. So $5,500, then you do weekly. When you get to the age of 50, we use $6,500 for that example. With growth, 7% average return, we just did raw numbers on this one, you got $440,000. If all you did was weekly contributions for the first 5 years and then adjusted them so that you could do that catch-up amount in your Roth IRA or your IRA, then you end up with $405,000. It's actually $404 and change. Look at the difference there. $35,000 difference by simply adding $5,500 more to get started, okay? So think about it. That's a little difference. If you're getting a late start to investing, that little difference is going to add up. I mean, it's $35,000. You wouldn't sneeze at $35,000 now, right? So you think about things like that where we need to start figuring out how to be as efficient as possible. It's like if you have a family and one of you loses a job, all of a sudden you hone in on every penny in your budget, do you not? So same thing with retirement. If you guys are getting a late start to retirement, we just need to hone in on every little penny there and make sure it's going in the right spot. Okay, so tip number one, start with a chunk and then do your weekly deposits from there. Give your retirement a little bit of a boost. Number two, I want you to get rid of the crap you don't need. Get the crap out of your budget, okay? This is easier for me to say or anybody you watch to say than to actually do. I went through this, we do this kind of frequently actually, but the most recent time we went through this, we started digging through our budget and we said, what's the nonsense that we need? And me and the missus sort of got in an argument over the lawn guy because she thought that was crap and we did not need that in our budget. I should be mowing the lawn. And I thought, well, it's hot, and so there's a lot of grass, and it's sort of, the tools and the gas and everything. Let the guy do it. It's $80 a month. Let him do it. It's not that big of a deal. And she thought it was crap. So what I'm saying is figure out what you can get rid of. That's an obvious one. It's one of those general things that you see on all these videos, but I like to point it out. Now, if we could agree and that $80 a month was deemed crap, and we did cut it out of our budget, and I ended up mowing the lawn, which it didn't happen, by the way. So let's think about it. $80 a month. Can you find that somewhere in your expenses? Okay. If you can do that $80 a month, if you contribute that as part of your steady contribution, that's $74,000 by the time you reach 67. $74,000 by simply adding $80 more a month towards your retirement plan. Again, assuming you're 45 years old. So that's a big difference, right? So now we've got $35,000 over here by just getting a little jump start. We've got $74,000. We've added 6 digits to your retirement account by simply changing just a couple things. And yeah, most of this so far is motivational. It's not really like rocket science. You guys could figure it out, of course, but I like to point that out. Now, the third thing, if you're getting a late start, there we go. If you're getting a late start to investing, you may have to pay debt and invest at the same time, right? This is one we could argue about. Now, I'm not a big fan of this. I say if you have credit card debts and student loan debts, you really should focus on those first. It just doesn't make financial sense to try to do both. If you have a home loan and a car loan and stuff, this is the one time in history where it's okay to have that debt and invest at the same time. Couldn't say that 10 years ago. Your parents couldn't say that. You get what I'm saying? Interest rates were much higher. This is sort of a rare opportunity here. Here's sort of a sad story. I talked to a person the other day that was 54 and has $150,000 in debt. I hope they're not watching. I'm not going to mention names or even genders. but $150,000 in debt. There's no video on this. You can't research this on Google or YouTube or whatever and say, hey, if I have $150,000 in student loan debt, I'm 54 years old and I can't afford to pay I mean, I can make the payment on those, but I can't afford to ever pay that balance off. Am I just supposed to never save for my future? Healthcare expenses, retirement expenses? What would you guys say to that? I want you to think about that. If you were 54, if you're a financial advisor, somebody came to you, and I thought this was a trick, to be honest with you, because the regulators, they're pretty crafty. They will call and sort of test you out, us, meaning me. They'll send letters and emails pretending to be customers. So I sort of thought this was a trick, but I don't think it was. This person had $150,000 in debt, student loan debt, only student loan debt. Can afford to make the minimum payment, no problem there, but wants to invest for retirement. Should they? Should that person put off their retirement, their future, because they're paying back debt that they will never, ever pay off? By the way, this person will die before that debt is paid off. It's going to become our problem or somebody else's. That's how screwed up it is. So what's the answer to that? That's why there's no general, like when I do these videos, if you disagree with me or you leave a comment saying you're nuts or you're stupid, I get a lot of those comments. It's okay because you can disagree with a general video. But you notice how I never do a video that says, if you have $150,000 in debt and you're 54 years old, do you save for retirement? Because that's like one person out of every 100, maybe more, I don't know. So that's the kind of scenario where this person has to pay down debt and has to invest at the same time. It no longer becomes a balance sheet issue, it becomes a survival issue. It becomes the idea that this person will have to stop working at some point. And yeah, they're still going to have that student loan debt, but now they need to buy groceries. They need to fix their car. They're going to need to pay for healthcare expenses. So if you're starting late, you may have to look at that and say, I'm going to have to pay debt down at the exact same time I'm investing. Now, if it's credit card debt and you were stupid and you racked up $5,000 in debt, then you go focus on that debt. Don't bother investing. It doesn't make sense. But if you're swamped like this person was, that really... most of you, when you call and you say you had some financial troubles, we laugh about it. It's a joke now. We've got a plan. We could figure it out. I really felt bad for this person because there's no right answer. The answer is look out for yourself at this point and make sure you're taken care of. Now, should you invest and have debt at the same, and pay off debt at the same time? How do you know? How do you know exactly how much to put here and exactly how much to put here? To those of you that are paying attention or that may be watching this a little bit later, the first person that can email support@JazzWealth with my favorite sports team of all times, the first person that guesses correctly, and it's not one of our customers, I'm going to give you our budgeting class, and I'm going to give you Nest Egg, which is a financial portal that we have where we don't sell the information, we don't give out anything, it's all yours. And you can set up your information in there, and it will tell you if you're going to pay down debt, pay this much. You'll have it paid off in 9 years, 3 months. If you're going to invest like this and go. So I'll give you the budgeting class for free, and I will send you Nest Egg to the first person that can guess my favorite sports team of all times. Oh, is it on the wall? No, it's not on the wall. Okay. My favorite sport teams of all time, support@JazzWealth, okay? So have fun, take a shot if you want the budgeting class or you want Nest Egg. Okay, now the last thing, and then we're gonna let you go. If you're getting a late start for investment, do not choose crappy investments, conservative investments, bonds, CDs, things like that. Oh boy, wow. That is supposed to be a G, and I don't know what that turned out to be. Go for growth. You're 45, you're 40, you're 42. You have plenty of time to be aggressive. Don't let somebody tell you, all right, you should have 60-40 bonds and stocks or whatever. Don't do it. You have plenty of time to be aggressive. We have given you every stat on this channel to let you know that if the market falls, they will recover. There's a towel that sits here. Everybody always wonders, why is there a towel on your wall? Because it gives you a stat that tells you you will recover. When the markets fall, yeah, it's scary, but there's nothing to be scared of because it will recover. The question is, how long does it take when it falls and how long it recovers? We've done tons of videos on this, so you know if you're 45, you can swing for the fences if you want to. There may be some downtimes. There very likely will be a downtime. But you can swing for the fences and go for growth. Don't go to your bank. Please don't go to your bank. They're going to put you in a CD. Don't go to choosing things yourself, because by the time you figure it out, you may have missed out on growth, right? Don't go to another advisor that will tell you, well, I work for a big company, and because I work for a big company, they want us to follow this model for all of our customers. Go with somebody that'll let you take risk and go for growth, okay? Maybe that's us. Maybe it's somebody else. I don't care. Just make sure you're going for growth, okay? And so that's really all I wanted to offer today. Start with a chunk and then be steady. Get the crap out of your budget, although it's going to take a little debate if you're married. You may have to have debt that you're paying off and invest at the same time. You might. Check into that. First person to guess my favorite sports team and send an email to support@jazzwealth. We can actually have the budgeting class that we offer as well as Nest Egg, so you know how to handle that. And number 4, go for growth. Don't hold back. You're late to the game. You got to get started. Swing for the fences. It may sting a little bit for a while, but you'll be just fine. I can't promise you that, but you'll be just fine. Okay, a little slow. You start at 54. That's fine, right? You got a plan. I know your plan. Your in-laws are in this position. Ross, I talk to so many people every day. A lot of great stories. It's not like a downer thing. I'm not like a funeral director or something. But I talk to a lot of people that it's like, okay, time to really get serious about this. You know, if you're just joking around and you just want to talk to the guy you see on YouTube, that's fine. But we need to get to work. So, yeah. There gets to be an age, Ross, where that interest on your debt does not make any more sense. The example I gave you, Ross, man, that was a perfect one. I wish there was a way to title that in a video, but it just wouldn't make any sense. People would just blast me. Push to pay off your student loans early. I know that people 40 still have... Now, the value is a big difference, ML. So you're saying, yeah, if it's like $30,000, you have plenty of time. And if you're 40, you could pay it off. So you have to focus on that for sure. 150 and you're 54 years old, it's just not happening, right? Unless you have severe income, which this person didn't in my example. That's crazy. Oh, thanks, Sum. I really appreciate it. Do you have a video on balancing investing for retirement and saving for your child's education? Nope. We should do one. Oh, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. No, I love it, Elliot. You're a very, very frequent commentator on the bottom there. Thanks for the heads up earlier. I was trying to find a video that would grab some of that attention as per a class that I promised I would do for people. And it seems like that's the one, by the way. I don't mind people disagreeing because I have to accept that. The videos that I do are general. Some things I just can't be specific on without getting in a lot of trouble. And so because it's general, someone else is going to have a different opinion. Totally cool. I have no problem with that. Just like be respectful about it. Some people like use words I wouldn't let my daughter see, and those got to go. Not a democracy. Do your customers get Nest Egg in a budgeting class? All of our customers do get Nest Egg and the budgeting class. We did make a transition, so if we left a few people out, you just have to email me. I'm sorry. Some people did get dropped out and haven't got the new Nest Egg yet. Video, yeah, that we have, Ross. Videos on how to invest for your children other than 403B. We did one on the UGMA accounts or UTMA, depending on where you're at. That's my favorite personally. We could do another one. No problem there. In the meantime, I appreciate you guys watching. Hit the subscribe button. If I helped you in some way, that means you subscribe to the channel and somehow the numbers get bigger and it makes people think like we're somebody bigger than somebody else. I don't know. Turn the bell on. That's all I care about, so that you know when we go live. If you want to watch, maybe your phone will let you know that we're live. We'll be back at 5 o'clock to do the closing beat. Kind of a sleepy day on Wall Street. If you missed today's closing beat, I wouldn't stress about it too much. Sort of sleepy out there today, but we'll cover it all, of course, in all the news at 5 o'clock Eastern today. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
Why should you choose JazzWealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.